2 drop of the Omniverse City. For those of you who have been with us for a really long time, since the beginning, you know that Omniverse City was first accessed in October of 2022 when we hosted our first ever event, the Optical Metaverse event. We're excited to say we will be hosting the second Optical Metaverse event in July of this year. And during this season, we're going to be talking about all of the new updates that our team has made. I have with me Gotham Jane. He's our chief technical officer, and he's really the brains behind this whole amazing project. Gotham, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, everyone.
So there are a lot of features that are already added to Omniverse City. We're going to talk about them so you can go right in yourself and experience some of the updates that are already made. We are making updates in real time. Every day we're adding new features, new utilities. We're going to showcase something really, really exciting we've been working on today, which is the ability to meet your friends in the Omniverse City. If you could see right up ahead, you'll see where it is indicating there's now a meeting room. So we're going to showcase this feature. And just so you know, we'll be announcing when it's available, which will be sometime over the next 3 to 4 days. But thank you, Gotham. Go ahead. Let's go approach the meeting room. This is one of our most requested features in Omniverse City. A lot of people have enjoyed coming in, just having their own privacy to walk around, learn the controls. But obviously, we want to come to the metaverse to meet our friends and to meet with potential, customers, partners. There's lots of ways to use the metaverse to network and to communicate. So Gotham's going to show us now. If you see, he opened another screen. So we're going to create 2 instances. And do you want to talk a little bit about how the multiplayer functionality will work just from a functionality standpoint, Gotham?
Sure. Right now, the way this will work is basically that. Okay. So the way this normally works is that each place in this whole city, you can imagine it as a meeting room. So when you enter that space, as soon as you enter that space, you can see your friends, whoever are there over there in the hosted meeting room at the same time. And another thing that happens in this is that uh, uh, yeah, you'll have to excuse me for a bit. 1 second. Yeah. So another thing that happens with this is that when you go into a meeting room, for example, take Zoom for example, take a video call, video conferencing uh, application, just like what we are using right now. So something like this, but what will happen there is that everybody will have a virtual avatar in this. Along with that, people will be able to speak with each other using table chat. So you'll be able to sit around on a table and discuss things as if you were in the same room at the same time. Other than that, there will also be party chat. So if you're coming along with your friends, uh, think of it as all of us having our own walkie talkies. So we'll be able to communicate with our friends in whatever space we are in the whole Omniverse city. Wherever we are, we'll be able to chat with each other. So that will also be there. And those will be the main highlights of this in terms of the multiplayer system. Other than that, we will also have shared experiences in the multiplayer world. Shared experiences such as we'll be able to uh, we'll be able to watch a movie together, for example. So there will be live broadcasting inside of this world, and you will be able to sit with your friends and watch whatever is being live broadcast together at the same time. And you'll also be able to screencast, for example. So what I'm doing over here, something like that, but inside of the build. So Charlene.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, when you look at a lot of established platforms, they kind of already have their layers built in. Omniverse City had an opportunity as a newcomer to the space to look at a lot of the utilities that people enjoy. Zoom is one of them. People love to, meet, but they would love an easier way to meet. So we wanted to create meeting spaces so you didn't really need to use Zoom. That's why we integrated with AirMeet, which is where we are now. There's a lot of things that you just probably won't be able to really easily do in a metaverse because that's not what a metaverse is designed to do. Like sitting around at a table, which is something that we'll all do later in the lounge, is just a better it's a better user experience in a platform like AirMeet, which is a Web 2.5 platform. But at some point, you're going to want to meet your friends. You're going to want to meet your family. You're going to want to meet your coworkers, your, employees, whomever it is that you connect with in physical and digital spaces. You're going to want to connect with in virtual spaces. So what Gotham was explaining is how you can, at the same time, enter a space with somebody else. And you're going to see in the beginning, again, Omniverse Cities in beta. So in the beginning, a lot of this utility is going to be, it's going to be in beta. You're going to see some things working and you're going to see some things that are a work in progress. We will be making announcements after these things are fully tested through this platform that you're in right now. This is our season 2 Launchpad. So the way it works is as we release features like the multiplayer feature that you're seeing now, which again, we should have live by early next week, super exciting, you'll get an announcement and you'll be able to pop right into the Omniverse City and go and try it. So we wanted to host these types of tutorials and sessions so that you can learn about what's new. Now, Gotham, do you want to show the new menu screen that helps our users to navigate to the different areas?
Sure. So here's this. Here's the screen. We've got stores. These are a few new additions to our this thing. So here's a clothing store.
And we added this because we have a lot of store owners moving in. It's super exciting to have people saying, "Hey, I have a business, but I'd really like to build out my business in the metaverse." It really seems that people like the idea that they can imagine anything that they want and build it. We will have some templated stores. This is a templated clothing store. So if you don't really want to go through the work of building your own store, you can use a space like this, especially if you and maybe even some friends want to rent a store together. There's a lot of people selling, t-shirts and hats and clothing. Obviously, we started with the optical metaverse, so we do have optical shops, and we just recently launched Process Cleanup. So if you're interested in, do you want to navigate to Process Cleanup, Gotham, since that has like some of the functionality?
All right. That would be better shown in the live online
Okay,
build,
when
I
I do
think.
the live. Okay, awesome. And the
Yeah.
fashion area is ready as well, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
I'll
awesome.
just show
So
that.
I'm gonna take over and share my screen. And do you think there's any other updates that we should share while I have you?
Sure. There is this other book. Okay, bookstore. We can have a look at this shiny new optical shop. That is another one. But you'll be showing this in the main build, I suppose.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'll just let you take a point then. Okay. So how do I?
Okay, I just removed it. Thank you so much for joining us, Gotham. And I just want everyone to know that when you're the front person on a project like this, you get the ability to really get that feedback from everyone. But there are really great people behind this. They're super talented. I'm super fortunate. Gotham and our lead designer Tony and the teams that work with them. Um, I mean, they're just really, really incredibly talented people. And talk a little bit about AI, Gotham, and how that's really helped with our development process. And I think because you are very experienced in AI, you could just share some insights on what AI is good for and what it's not good for. I think a lot of people see artificial intelligence as like a way to kind of bypass experience, but because we are incorporating artificial intelligence, but not usurping actual intelligence, talk a little bit about how we're going to be using AI in the development of Omniverse City?
So, as you may all have heard, I'm pretty sure the buzz was quite big, all about ChatGPT. So, ChatGPT has kind of taken over the world these days, in a way. But people kind of assume that it can kind of do everything. It can't do everything. It's a very powerful tool, no doubt about that. But it has to be in the right hands, it has to be used in the right way. So that is what we do with this thing. We utilize it in the right space, in the right way, and we use it wherever AI is good. That is, it is a very good assistant. It helps you do a lot of the manual work. So that's why we are faster using it. Other than that, it helps. Okay, so for example, if you have got a business coming in, you have got a business coming in, and if you were to, just imagine how your business idea would suit or fit well in our whole system, and you want an insight in that, that is another place where AI can come in and help you out. You can of course talk to us, and that will be much, give you a much more in-depth answer about that. But if you just want to get an idea, a business plan, a quick overview of what can be done, that is where AI is really good for. Then we are using AI for image generation as well. So many of the textures we use over here, they are all custom made using AI, and then our lead designer, he makes modifications on top of it, customizes it, further matches it to our use case. That is another place where we are using AI. And there are many other small places where we are using AI other than this. I mean, I if I start going on and on in depth about it, I think we'll run out of time in that.
Well,
So,
but I do think we should, and we can leave off with this. One of the things I'm most excited about, we can't showcase it today, but it will happen in this season. We will have the introduction of a new avatar system. Right now, we're using Ready Player Me, but we will be introducing metahumans, and they
oh,
will,
I thought that was a secret. I thought that was a secret.
Oh, no, 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 we're not
But
making that a
okay,
secret. No, no, no. We want people to know what's
all
coming
right,
so they can prepare.
all right.
Having, sorry, secret's out. But having non-playable characters represent you when you're not there is amazing. I mean, you have a website that represents you when you're not there. So you already
Mhm.
kind of have an avatar. Your avatar is your website, but it's not a very good communicator. Let's face it. I mean, whatever information you put on your website a year and a half, 2 years, 10 years ago is still the information people are getting. So making real-time updates on your website, even though there's new tools like, with WordPress, you can make live updates, but it's just not easy for people to make those updates. Even if they have a blog, they're lucky if they update that once a month. So what's really great about the metaverse is you can make real-time updates about what's going on with your brand, with your business, and having an NPC is having an additional non-playable character. That's an additional extension of that.
All
We
right.
will have
So,
metahumans. Go ahead, Gotham. This
So,
is your
if you've
world.
already revealed a secret, I'll tell you a bit about how this will work. So, imagine that each business that is here inside of the metaverse, they have got their own virtual employees. They're their own virtual representatives that represent their brand, that talk about their brand, and they can roam around in the whole city. A person can go up to them and talk to them, strike a conversation with them, and their own AI that we have specifically built for them, for their brand, that connects to this, and they will be able to have a conversation with a virtual human, a very realistic looking human, because we're using metahumans for this, that will be able to hold a conversation with you as if it were a real human. I mean, not exactly as if it were a real human, but it will be able to do about 18% of that, I suppose. And that is
And
a big thing. Yeah.
and Gotham, we have a lot of people joining us. You know that we're working on a medical suite right now for a doctor, and we have a lot of optometrists that have paid attention to this. I think that they do have a little bit of uneasiness when it comes to AI, especially thinking, how can I create a database that's going to communicate and be in control of what it's sharing with people? I mean, as it is now, people are Googling, so they are getting information that you really don't have a lot of control over. But having an AI database like this, don't you feel like it's going to give doctors the ability to kind of really have a little bit more control over the information that they're sharing, because it's not pulling from the whole database of the internet, but a database that they're kind of vetting so that the patient knows they're getting information that their doctor has approved. Can you talk a little bit about that?
For sure, for sure. So you're completely right about that. So the way this thing works is that we have got a limited set of information that we want to give to our users, which is free of all kinds of misinformation. And using AI, what happens is that the user's queries, they are translated into something in a form that is more targeted than what you would get in a Google search. For when you Google search, for example, you get all sorts of information that may be true, that may be false. It's not vetted. But over here, because it's everything so targeted and the database is so curated, you get answers which are specific to your use case. You get answers which are, you know and the best part about this is, if in case the user says something that is beyond the bounds of what the AI can answer, it is very easy to upgrade the user in a way. I mean, not exactly upgrade. What would the word be? Uh, Basically, add a human element to it. The whole conversation can be then shifted off
Meaning
to
like
actual.
meaning like you could redirect that conversation to
Yeah,
the live
exactly,
human so
exactly.
that they could pick up where the AI left off.
Exactly. And
Right.
that helps in many ways, because what happens is that a lot of the manual work, that the preliminary stuff, that is done by the AI. That saves a lot of time for the actual human who's going to be able to actually pay attention to what the core problem is, and then offer their own expertise about that. So that is a big time saver as well, and a big productivity boost as well.
And I'll just leave with this, Gotham, because you're one of the few people I know that has been into the space for so long and you've watched it evolve. And obviously, you knew before this whole explosion of AI adoption happened that it was moving very fast, but it was moving in a very contained way. In the last 3 to 6 months since it's become accessible, talk a little bit about the speed and the progression and how you feel that's going to impact, development of software in general.
What you see in the coming few months is going to be amazing, scary but amazing, because the pace at which these things are rapidly evolving. We had, take GPT 3.5, that is Chat GPT, which took the world by a storm, and now we have got GPT 4. GPT 4 can actually write code. It can, uh, I mean, I have been using it for writing parts of the stuff that I do, and it does a phenomenal job. And the best part about it is that it's like a very good assistant. So you uh, can get information about technologies that you are not familiar with, and then you can research further about them. So it's an assistant, it's a mentor, it's a very good guide. You can learn from it, you can accelerate your growth from it. So the whole learning process for not just programming, but for like literally every field, that's going to accelerate by a huge margin now. So it's
But
not
it
that
does not
AI will
bypass
replace us.
fundamental knowledge. That's important to remember. It
Yeah,
does not bypass
yeah.
fundamental knowledge.
So AI will not replace us. That is a misconception that AI will replace us. What it will do, from what I've seen, is it will be like a cybernetic enhancement for us all. We will, in essence, we will kind of become superhumans in terms of the knowledge we can gain. We can then the space by which we learn about new things and everything. I mean, search engines and the internet was a step. It put information on our fingers. I mean, mobiles put information on our fingertips. Now we'll have targeted information on our fingertips, and that will be specific to our use case, which we can learn from, and then we can evolve ourselves much faster. So it's going to be a pairing made in heaven, I suppose.
Well, Gotham, I really appreciate you coming and helping to kind of clarify some of these things. I share about it from really from what I learned from you and working with the team, but it's really great to give our audience an opportunity for finally to get some real, true technical insights. Thank you so much for joining us today.
A pleasure being here.
All righty, I'll talk to you soon. So I'd like to just take the last few minutes to show you guys some of the updates that we've made. For those of you who have not been into the Omniverse City yet, you might not be aware of how to navigate. So one of the things that we've found in bringing new people into the Omniverse city is I would say 100% of the people I've brought in have never had to create an avatar and explore the metaverse before. So that's been kind of interesting. You know, it's not really that intimidating until you do it. So before you do it, you might be like, wow, there's just a lot of information here. I got to create an avatar. I got to learn how to move. But once you get in and you learn how to do it, it's really, really simple. So when you go to the omniverse.city, that's our website, you'll see two um, buttons now. One will say, you know, visit the city, which indicates that we're in beta. That'll get you right into the Omniverse city. The other, I'm going to turn down my sound here. The other button, which is right next to it on our main website, will get you here, where you are right now in AirMeet. Now, we're going to take a break in a few minutes, and I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to meet with me in the lounge and answer your questions. And then what we're going to do is we're going to jump back in, and we're going to explore the city in a little bit more detail. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you open up your tabs and follow along with me. We're going to take a little bit of a metaverse tour. So we're going to be looking for volunteers. So if you feel brave enough, get ready to raise your hand because we're going to come back to the Omniverse city, and we're going to get you guys on, you know, 2 or 3 people on screen with me. And we're just going to kind of explore the city together and learn how to find new things. Right now, you can come into the Omniverse city. You could buy a book. You could buy eyeglasses. You could go walk the runway as a fashion model. You could learn about equipment as an optometrist. You could do all those things today, right now. So we don't want you to miss out on the actual utility. Utility is an important word because when you talk about the metaverse, this is where, and NFTs, this is where you can think about not just what can I do here, but how can I use it? So we're going to really dig into utility in this second session. Does anybody have any questions before I break? Because I will be taking questions in the lounge. Oh, okay. Well, Gotham, Dr. Otney says he really appreciates your responsible and thoughtful use of AI. You know, one of my really one of the most rewarding things about this is I know what I want to do, right? I know how I want to change the world. I know the role that I want to play. I just don't know how to do it. I don't. ChatGPT is not going to help me build a metaverse. Okay, it's not. But I'm very fortunate that similarly to how you might use ChatGPT to learn how to write a blog or to build a business plan, which are very simple things when you think about it. They're things that a lot of us should know. We just never really had that exposure. When it comes to more complex things like learning how to layer sections of a metaverse to build a useful experience that people can enjoy, that is not an easy thing to do at all. It's not even an easy thing to think about, let alone to build. And I am super, super, super fortunate, first of all, that I have all of you that have continued to give me feedback. You are developers, everyone on this call, and hopefully everyone out there in YouTube and in LinkedIn that's listening. Hopefully you know that you are developers. You share your ideas with me. You're not shy. And I share them with my team. And my team never says no. They're just absolutely incredible. I'm so grateful I could cry. But the bottom line is, we're going to give something to the world that meets the demands of the future and meets the demands of today, but we're not going to compromise the values that we need to continue to have. We can enter the metaverse with core values. We can, but we need to have the tools to be able to do that. So this is a start. This is real. I mean, we're in beta. Look at all this amazing functionality that we have in beta. And the reason we're working so hard to make our beta so complete is we really want people to stop making statements like the metaverse is 10 years away and understand that the pandemic only started 3 years ago. And since then, we were, shut in for a year and a half, really given an opportunity, every single one of us as humans, to think, who am I? Like, what is like the world could come to an end. We were all thinking this at one point, did I really achieve what I wanted to here? We all kind of had like a reset when it comes to like our purpose and like what drives us. And, some of us came out really taking that seriously. I know I did. That's why we're here. And the people that are joining me, they feel the same way. They feel like, okay, the world is changing in ways that we can't define. So rather than try to wait for someone to give a definition, let's just be a part of it. Let's be a part of defining what that is. And within the Omniverse City, you have an opportunity right now to decide what your role is going to be. Your role may be just to come and visit and check in and keep your finger on the pulse. You'll be able to do that. Your role might be, I want to come in and I want to really learn the mechanics of business virtually, and I want to really evolve. You can. You're going to be able to host meetings. You're going to be able to, sell products. You're going to be able to meet people, become an influencer. All the things that you could do digitally and physically, you'll be able to do virtually in the Omniverse City and in many other metaverse platforms. So we look forward to seeing you guys in the lounge. And thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. And Gotham, thanks again for all of your great insights. I'm so glad finally our audience got to meet you. See you guys in the lounge.